Hello, entrepreneurs. Joe DeChara here at a new time slot. That's right. From now on, I'll be coming on between 6 and 7 every night. Haley Gray was nice enough to let me switch my slot, only because I have other things to do at 8 p.m. I'm sorry, folks, but that's the way life is, and I'm sticking to it. But anyway, I'm just kidding. I am here for you to provide the solopreneur, the new business owner, information on how to not only start a business but stay in business. And hi, Tessa, how are you? Thanks for stopping by in my new time slot. But it's not by coincidence that that happens to also be Haley Gray's mantra in Women's Entrepreneur Network. And I think that's why we think alike. And, so I want to thank Haley. I know she's in the middle of a big 5-day challenge. I don't know where she gets the energy, to be honest with you. I wish I could tap into some of that, but I thought I was productive. This woman is off the charts. So anyway, if you don't know me, I am a serial entrepreneur with a CPA license, and I am focusing. Hey, Dr. Flo, we're scheduled for tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And now I lost my train of thought. Anyway, what I've learned over 35 years in accounting and as a CPA working with thousands of small business owners in every capacity, but mostly really what I like to call the CFO service side, which is really not just the numbers. Doing the bookkeeping, doing the numbers are important, but a real CFO is taking a broad overview of the whole business, like all the different components and how it works. And so I personally always felt sort of uncomfortable in just as a CPA title or label, because it's a lot more than just accounting, folks. That's the conclusion I've come up with. Because of the patterns, the way larger entities get organized and actually wind up staying in business. If you look at people that start new businesses, we outnumber the other businesses by like 10 to 1. I mean, it's like there's 30 million businesses and over 25 million are solopreneurs, businesses with no employees. And the reason is that it's so hard to become a business with employees. It's hard to break that through that ceiling. And I understand a lot of people don't want to break through that ceiling, and that's fine. When I started in business, I thought everybody wanted to be, the next McDonald's. But that's not realistic. It's not true. It's not true anymore. Maybe it was true, in the 1950s. But the bottom line is the results, the way that those solopreneurs got to the point where they have employees, and even from 1 to 5 employees, that might make up another, and I lost track of the numbers, but that might even be like another 3 or 4 million. So you could look at the 30 million businesses out there, and probably, let's say, 28 million have 5 employees or less. That's not a lot of people. So when you go into business, the odds are that you're not going to have employees, because the odds are that you're always going to have a small business. Now, if that's by choice, that's fine, but the rules still apply to even people that want to have a part-time business, because they're universal laws. It's like gravity. Gravity's going to work in Tokyo the same way it's going to work in New York. And the business principles that get entrepreneurs to that level of success, and let's define success as bringing your business to the point that you want to bring it. Because not everybody wants to have $100 million business. That comes with a big price, a lot of personal sacrifice, responsibility. And to be honest, I don't know if I even want that anymore. I'm getting too old. I just turned 60. But the idea of having a business now based around your lifestyle does not change the fact that you still have to follow those principles. And the chief, and this is what I wanted to lead up to, because this is my solution. This is my answer to this big problem. And it's simple. It comes down to organization. Simple, good old organization, starting with your books, believe it or not. You know, you could talk to anybody that's successful. Larry Brand, I'm talking about major successful. They will all tell you the importance of having your book straight. Because, again, scientifically, and I know we have some scientists in the groups here, scientifically speaking, the businesses that are not organized do not succeed. So, and when I say organized, I'm not just talking about your bookkeeping system. Yeah, that's a big part of it. Because if you can't even count your money, the chances are slim. I mean, the chances are slim enough that you're not gonna make it. Unfortunately, that's the truth. And I'm not being a negative. You know what? It's the way it is. And no matter how many of us do things perfectly, we could do things perfectly and still not succeed. But if we do it, we're never going to do it perfectly. But if we do it systematically, our chances of success go up exponentially. And I can tell you this from my own personal experience. In all the different businesses, someday I'm going to do a post-it thing and count all the different businesses that I started, and they're not here anymore. Some of them were, what do we call, temporary businesses, like my ice cream truck, which I still consider maybe my most successful venture ever. An ice cream truck that I drove for 2 months. Based on my experience that I got from it, how much fun I had at it, it was a huge success because I made more money than I thought I would. And that was an entrepreneurial success. Not coincidentally, when I went into it, I had the intention, I had the thought process of, this is how I'm going to run this business. It's going to end on such and such a day. But the point is that I was organized, and I wish I was that organized with all of my businesses. Now, my disorganization didn't come on the numbers end, you know, the bookkeeping. My disorganization had to do with my thought process, my planning, my marketing. I didn't have the tools that I have today, the mastermind, the coach. I didn't have some of those pieces that I talk about. So I'm not pivoting here, but I'm going to take a sort of a different approach. to become as far as a resource for people to follow me and people that want to put a label on what I do. It really comes down to organization, folks, and that's my superpower. We start, you know, with we start with wherever you are. That's the truth. My friend John Limbacher calls it the timeline, because we're all in different places. I have friends that have been in business for 50 years, clients, and I have clients that have been in business for 50 hours or less. So wherever we start, if you work with me, we start at the exact place that you're at, and we just start organizing. Because this is based on, you know, years of trial and tribulations, a lot of pain and suffering, and I hope that I did a lot of that for you when I go through and share some of this knowledge and information. So I have gotten into the habit of finding quotes that have to do with the topic of tonight, and I haven't even gotten into it, and I only have like another 8 minutes. But I think I covered the topic pretty well. And this one is finding a way to live the simple life is one of life's complications. And that was by T.S. Eliot, A Catcher in the Rye. I read the book a couple of times and still don't get it. I'm hoping that maybe one of my friends that know about books can explain it to me. And I usually have two, but I didn't want to make it too complicated tonight. Because tonight's training, and this is what I was getting at, what I'm going to start focusing on a lot is I'm going to start doing a lot more training, workshops. You know, thanks to my friend Haley, who's a marketing genius. You know, I talked to her a lot, and we came up with, you know, I'm going back and forth with her, and how can I promote this new service? And it came down to workshops and working with people hands-on. And it turns out that that's what I was doing 30 years ago, folks. There's no coincidences, because the part of the funny thing about my journey is that where I am leading to today, doing regular workshops, even though they're virtual, is what I started doing when I first opened my accounting business. Was I went to libraries and did workshops, and I loved it. It was rewarding. I got clients from it, and if I told you the reason why I got away from it, maybe someday I'll cover that. But there's no coincidences. So QuickBooks. Let me get into what I want to point out tonight. And if you're not familiar with QuickBooks, because I know not everybody is, but I grew up with QuickBooks, and what I mean by that is it was around. It came into play in 1998. I opened my first office in 2004, and in between that time, QuickBooks became huge because they had convinced everyone that they could do their own bookkeeping with their program. And when they started out, it was unbelievable. I mean, because we were just starting to use desktops, and we were all trying to figure out ways to use the computer to get away from the paper, because we wanted to not have to work that hard. And QuickBooks was unbelievable in the beginning, until they flooded the market. And so in 2004, when I started my business, I got most of my clients from fixing people's messed up QuickBooks files. Because what happened in between 1998 and 2004, a lot of people bought the lie that they could be their own bookkeepers. So you had body shop owners, restaurant owners, people with retail shops, pizza, and they're all trying to do their own bookkeeping. Well, most of them screwed them up, because QuickBooks became too complicated. It became like trying to kill a fly with the sledgehammer. And what happened was when people thought they were going to save money, their books became worthless pieces of data, and they didn't save money because now they had to hire people like me to fix it. And so anyway, we've gone through decades of suffering through QuickBooks. And what I mean by suffering is trying to make for the solopreneurs, for the new business owners, which make up the bulk of the business world. Okay, let's say 28 million at 30 million are people that just need basic bookkeeping. We don't need job costing. We don't need CRM attached to, and QuickBooks just became this monstrosity. And I could show you a couple of examples, but we're going to go through this quickly. And I think, okay, I'm not even going to do the PowerPoint. I'm just going to show you the Waveapps and why I believe that Waveapps is actually going to take over and provide what QuickBooks promised, which was the chance, the ability for new business owners and solopreneurs to take control of their finances, be involved with the bookkeeping part of the business. I mean, you got to be involved in some point because you're going to have to read the numbers, or you're going to have to get them compiled to do your tax returns. So this is, let me get, okay, here is, I have to switch screens that I'm sharing. So this is Waveapps before you sign up. So, and if you can look at this and just see, I mean, it doesn't get much simpler. There are some products, accounting, you can invoice, you can accept credit cards, payroll, and you can actually, this is really cool, you could attach your receipts, okay? They have Wave advisors, they will do your bookkeeping for you, but they're pretty expensive, I gotta tell you. And pricing, here is pricing. The application is actually free. So Waveapps is absolutely free for most people that don't need to invoice people and don't need payroll, but that's it. And now we're going to go into the Intuit sign up. And this is pretty much how the software stacks up together. Let's go to plans and pricing. Okay, so right away we got 5 different options. Now, I've had clients that spend hours just looking at how much is, what do we need? What do we need and how much is it going to cost? And as you can see, it's not that, straightforward. What else do we have here? Sign in. So now I have a QuickBooks and Intuit account. I have no choice. I do have some clients on QuickBooks Online because they have features that Waveapps do not have. These are clients with employees, and they are beyond Waveapps. So I do still work, unfortunately, with QuickBooks. But now just signing in, for me, I have, and I didn't even realize this, I could sign into I am a pro advisor. Some of these things, what's the difference here? They got this desktop account. And so it's right from the start, it's confusing. Now, if you want to sign up, with Wave, and I've actually had people. I have a sign-up sheet that takes about 3 minutes to go through, and I see actually I'm out of time here. I don't want to go over in Haley's group, but I'm going to pick this up again tomorrow, and I'm going to keep going through the differences between Waveapps and QuickBooks. And if you want to connect with me, you can do so by simply going to, let's see, timewithjoe.com. All right. Sorry for the brief segment, but I think we got the point across. Just go to timewithjoe.com, and I'd love to talk to you about your business. Thank you.